Hey, everybody, welcome back. So, literally, the second live of today, right? So, welcome to our live stream, Women for Trump. I'm going to break it down for you. Some of you might be confused why women would vote for Trump. Some of you might be confused why women wouldn't vote for Trump. Either way, we're going to get into some deep political discussions, folks. And I think for me, the most important thing, so I want you guys to understand what I stand for. So as you pop on, I would really like you to hit the like button. I would like you to tell me where you're from. Even drop in comments who you are voting for. Now, let's start with this. I'm going to discuss with you some of the main topics as to why women across America, probably more now than ever, are going to vote for Trump. What you're not going to hear me talk about are women's rights. Hey, Nicole, and this is why I'm not going to discuss women's rights. There is no president in the United States, regardless of party affiliation, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, Republican, it doesn't matter. They cannot determine women's rights. The Supreme Court has ruled against and overturned Roe v. Wade. What does that actually mean? It means that abortion discussions have to happen in every state. So it is more important to choose your governor, a good governor that affiliates to your beliefs, and the citizens' votes are going to determine what, save abortion rights and increase them, or stop abortion and decrease them. There's no president, not Kamala, not Trump, can do anything for or against abortion in America. So I don't know why that's even up as, oh, thanks, guys. Thanks, Jason, why people are even discussing women's rights in this election. Like, I was doing some research for this live stream. And when you got to swing states, they literally said, let me see if I can find it real quick for you guys. They literally said that one of the reasons women were not voting for Trump, it had to do with women's rights and abortion rights. Let me read it to you. In this view, women's freedom to make decisions should be respected and supported. A woman should not be pressured into traditional feminine roles, behaviors, or ways of being. And that includes sexual liberation and access to abortion for women's health and well-being. They believe it is important and critical to the dismantling of the patriarchy, Okay. What nobody's talking about is that Trump he cannot pass a nationwide abortion ban. Just like Kamala cannot pass an abortion positive freedom. Like they don't have the power, guys. They don't have the power. So we're not even going to waste time on, am I voting for Kamala because she's for women's rights, and I'm going to vote for Trump because he's against abortion? Like, it's pointless. It's a waste of time. What we're going to talk about is real talk. We're going to discuss economy. We're going to discuss world peace. We're going to discuss sovereignty of our nation. We're going to talk about the Green New Deal and how that's going to affect food supplies for Americans. We're going to talk about real stuff. Let's start with this. Hi, everybody. Hey, Miss Donna, Holly, Rebecca, Obedient Child, Sierra. So nice to see you guys. Joan of Arc, so nice to see all of you. So, okay, here's the thing, folks. When we're talking about women for Trump, let's start with a Twitter from J.K. Rowling, okay? The huge number of medals female athletes have lost to trans opponents allowed to compete against them is revealed in a UN report highlighting women's loss of fair opportunity. Over 890 medals across 29 sports have been stolen from women by men. That's not okay. It's not okay. So how do you fix this? It is so simple that it's like you want to slam your head against the wall. You have biological women's sports, you have biological male sports, and then you have trans sports. That's how you fix that. That is how you fix that. It's a no-brainer, a flipping no-brainer. I don't know why we have to keep having weird discussions about people's sex. Like, you ever heard like keep your business behind closed doors? Have some class. Like, I don't want to know about what's between your legs. I'm being dead serious. So one of the biggest things going on for swing states, a recent Gallup poll found that women ages 18 to 29 are significantly more liberal, obviously, than their elderly or older peers. This generation does tend to need abortion. Says a lot, doesn't it? And came of age during the Trump era and the reversal of Roe v. Wade. So basically, they see Trump as some kind of like took their right to, abort babies away. It's crazy. When actually it was the Supreme Court, and now states have that right. But this is some of the things that women are discussing in swing states. So one woman said, I'm leaning towards Trump because in terms of policy, I'm choosing Trump. And I have to agree with her. So I went and looked at both Trump's campaign page and Kamala Harris's campaign page. This is what I found. Kamala's had like paragraphs explaining her policies. Trump's had a 28-page document explaining his policies, 28 pages. And it says it's dedicated to the forgotten men and women of America. So we're just going to break this down. Here's Trump's policies, and this is why most women in America are going to support him. Because understand this, both conservatives and liberals, Republicans and Democrats, understand this. All women want the same thing. Let me tell you what it is. We want our families safe. We want our families to prosper. We want our children to have a good education, good health care, and a chance at a good career. We want our families to be happy. That's what we want. Doesn't matter what color we are. It doesn't matter what race. It doesn't matter what religion. I promise you, every woman, thank you, True Lady Liberty, every woman wants the same thing in America. And whichever candidate can promise us that is whom we are going to vote for. Because believe it or not, the biggest voting demographic in America for this race is going to be white women. There are more of us voting than any other demographic, white women. Says a lot right now. Won't stay that way, but that is the truth of what we're facing in the 2024 election. So let's start with what Trump said, okay? Basically, here are his policies. He wants to seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. I'm literally reading on page 4 and it's called the 2024 GOP platform, Make America Great Again. This is on his page. I printed it. He said, seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Number 2, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. Number 3, end inflation and make America affordable again. Number 4, make America the dominant energy producer in the world by 4. Number 5, stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. Number 6, large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips. Number 7, defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Number 8, prevent World War III, restore peace in Europe and the Middle East, and build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our entire country, all parts of it made in America. Number 9, end the weaponization of government against the American people. Number 10, stop the migrant crime epidemic, demolish the foreign drug cartels, crush gang violence, and lock up violent offenders. Number 11, rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. Strengthen and modernize our military, making it without question the strongest and most powerful in the world. Number 13, keep the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. Number 14, fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. Number 15, cancel the electric vehicle mandate and cut costly and burdensome regulations. Number 16, cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on children. Number 17, keep men out of women's sports. Number 18, deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. Number 19, secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. Number 20, unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. Sorry. I mean, let's just be really, really honest. Can anybody imagine any of this would be a problem? How can any of that be a problem for anybody that's like a critical thinker? I mean, let me ask you this. Why is showing an ID so hard to do when you're at a voting box, but you walk into a store to buy alcohol, cigarettes, a vape, dip, to get into an R-rated movie or to drive a car, you have to have one? I'm just asking. Okay, so table of contents. Defeat inflation and quickly bring down all prices. So we're going to get into this. We're going to get into it deep because it's important that people understand his policies. Like I said, when I looked at Kamala's page, let me pull it up for you guys because I have it on my phone. When I looked at Kamala's page, okay, let me turn the brightness down. Here is Kamala's page right there. Hit it. Pops up Harris Waltz. Okay. As you scroll down, donate. There's another donate button. There's another donate button. How can you help Kamala? Here, you see, help Kamala. Okay. Then it says Trump's Project 2025. You know how hard it was to find her policies? I had to dig. I was like, where is your policies? Like, woman, what do you stand on? I found an opportunity agenda for Black men, an opportunity agenda for Hispanic men. That's racist as hell. So you already got a strike with me on that. And then it's nothing but give me money, donate, buy my merchandise. So then you get to our homepage. It says home, Kamala, Tim, issues, a new way forward, opportunity agenda, and volunteer. Oh, thank you, Fila. Thank you so much. God bless you. And then store. Let's vote in store. Like, let's shop. Like, you can donate up here and you can shop down here. But where are her policies, right? So I finally find it, and it's a new way forward. And it's basically like, here are her policies right there. You see them? And when you touch them, that little plus, this is all the information she provides. That's it. 2 paragraphs. See that? 1, 2. Oh, sorry. 3. A small one up top. 3 paragraphs to explain, make rent more affordable and home ownership more attainable. There's no policy. It's no policy. You can't fall for this. There's no policy. So let me go to Trump's page. Let me show you the difference, folks. Here's Trump and Vance. Right off the bat, doesn't even say donate. It says, here are my policies. Look at this. Look at these policies, okay? Then it says, read more about the Trump Republican platform. You hit that. There it is. This is what I'm reading right now. It is a total of 16 pages of single print policy. Aw, thank you guys. Aw, thank y'all. I love y'all too. All right, so we're going to start because this is important. I'm tired of people talking about Trump's rude. So what? So what? And we're not going to discuss women's rights because this presidential election's got nothing to do with your right to commit abortion. President can't do nothing about that. But I do want to do one more thing. You guys heard about Kamala's husband before I get into Trump's policies, because this is Trump, women for Trump, right? If you heard about Kamala Harris's husband, let me read an article. Douglas Emhoff, that is Kamala Harris's husband, his financial ties to lithium companies. What state just got demolished by flooding? Somebody got to drop it in comments. Come on. That's right. North Carolina. Thank you, True Lady Liberty. North Carolina. There you go, guys. Now it's rolling like a 6 of y'all hitting it, North Carolina. Let me read this to you. It's going to shock you. Douglas Emhoff, Kamala Harris's husband, has been involved in high-stakes corporate law for decades, in case you didn't know. But it's his investments that are now drawing attention. Emhoff has financial ties to companies like Piedmont Lithium, a fact that should concern all Americans. While his wife advocates for clean energy initiatives, all right, so Kamala Harris wants clean, Green New Deal, clean energy. You have to have lithium and quartz. You have to have clean energy. You have to. There's no way around it, okay? So his wife is advocating for clean energy. If she becomes president, she will be forcing Americans to move to these clean energy. Okay, so just keep that in your mind. Pushing policies that increase domestic mining. The same people that tell you you cannot frack for oil are going to destroy entire mountains to get to lithium. Do y'all not know that? People who are considering Kamala and the liberal left's nonsense about climate change, can you not see it? Are you that blind? Like, it's shocking to me. Emhoff's investments in lithium extraction companies position him to profit handsomely from these policies. Anybody want to guess what Kamala's 2020 tax return was? Remember, she's from a middle class. I was raised middle class. Yeah. Anybody want to guess how much her and her husband filed for their 2020 taxes? It sure ain't middle class. 1.6 million. 1.6 million in 2020. I guarantee you 2024 is going to be like 2.9 million, 3.5 million. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the lies from the very liberal mainstream media. Kamala Harris is not middle class, folks. All right, so this is not some baseless conspiracy theory either. The conflict of interest here is blatant. Harris's push for green energy directly benefits her husband's financial portfolio, creating a murky ethical situation that the American people should not tolerate. The policies she pushes directly drive the profits of companies like Piedmont Lithium, whose access to land and resource-rich areas depends in part on the displacement of entire communities previously living there. So let me repeat that for people who have sometimes ADHD. I get it. I taught school, so I get it. Emhoff, Harris's husband, has a portfolio that includes companies like Piedmont Lithium. For his company to succeed, or the company he has shares in, they must have lithium. The land and resource-rich areas that have lithium already have communities living there. Because when they built those communities, they weren't paying attention to lithium. They weren't testing for it, and they did not know it was there. So You starting to get it now? Geoengineered weather, a tool for corporate expansion. Extreme weather events have become alarmingly frequent in areas like Western North Carolina. And many people suspect these disasters are not entirely natural. Just saying. Geoengineering, the deliberate manipulation of the Earth's weather system, is no longer a fringe topic. Weather modification techniques like cloud seeding and aerosol spraying have been openly discussed, researched, and tested. In fact, if you go to whitehouse.gov, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden gave $20 million to it in 2022. So it's a real thing. Don't fact check me. I know it's real. I just wrote a book about it titled Growing Under a Poison Sky, praying that book is available to you guys by December. It's gonna tell you all about it. It's a real thing. So these technologies, in theory, so that I don't get a strike, could be used to trigger storms, hurricanes, and floods, particularly in regions that stand to benefit from corporate interest. In Western North Carolina, the timing is so convenient. So convenient. The surge of interest in lithium extraction coincides with, say, a hurricane and maybe a flood and possibly some tornadoes. I'm just saying. The timing's a little odd. Yeah, sorry, I noticed it. People are left without homes, unable to rebuild due to insurance shortfalls and FEMA refusals, and are ultimately forced to sell their lands back to the government or to the highest bidding corporation. This land, once home to families, farms, and communities for generations, folks, quickly become the property of companies like Piedmont Lithium, who waste no time in setting up mining operations to destroy the mountain these people once worked to preserve. Let me make this clear to y'all. Old-timey Democrat Party. If you have always voted Democrat, welcome to your party, because it's us. It's us. It's me. It's my husband. It's my daughter. It's my parents. It is not Kamala Harris. It is not Imhoff. It is not Oprah Winfrey. Those people don't care about you. I care about the environment. I'm an organic, no-till, sustainable, water-preserving, toxin-free 2-acre farm that humanely raises livestock, feeds animals, never gives my animals chemicals. Rarely do I give it to my family. Like, you're not going to find somebody that loves the environment more than me. And Leslie, the lady that writes our newsletter, will contest to that. The book, Growing Under a Poison Sky, it teaches you about geoengineering, and it teaches you how to clean your water and your soil and your body from the toxins they're dumping on you. I love the environment. So you cannot tell me, because I've done my research, that fracking is worse than lithium mining. No. Nope. Not this redneck. Not today. My daddy didn't raise no fool, babe. They just said nothing. What it is the oil barons have got about as rich as they're going to get. You can't get into that game. So the new wannabe elites have to come up with a new way to funnel money. So that's what climate change is. This is for unburdening what has been to become what can be. It's so a whole nother new group of elitists get rich. Never caring about the little man, ever. I'm just saying that's the truth. I don't care if anybody likes it or not. The government's role in displacement. It is no secret that corporations have a tight grip on Washington, D.C. The federal government's response to these disasters are sluggish, insufficient, and even deliberately ineffective. I did a video on it. It took them 7 days to release military helicopters to go save people in North Carolina. 7 days. If you'd have been trapped in your car or under a tree or in your house or needed medical attention, 7 days is too late. It is too late. I was watching Spain. I don't know if you guys know this, but they're calling this flood that just happened in Spain like biblical proportions. Sound familiar? I mean, it caught Spain, this one town in Spain, completely off guard. I'm watching, and they've got helicopters in the air rescuing people as the water's coming up. I'm like, gee, wow. Spain can do it, but America can't. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. Spain can do it. They can rescue people in the storm. We're 7 days post-storm. And Joe's like, you're going to release the military. I'm like, oh my God, please God, retire him. Insurance companies underpay claims, leaving people with no choice but to abandon property. FEMA aid is slow to arrive, and when it does, it's often inadequate to help families actually rebuild. Here's the hard truth. The government wants you off your land. Excuse me. The government wants you off your land. Own nothing and be happy. Owning land. Let me tell you something. Owning land is a biblical principle that comes with spiritual strength. Do you know when you own your land, and I'm not talking about mortgages. I get it. You live there. Somebody else owns it. One day you will, but you don't yet. When you own the land that you live on, you can command what happens on it. So you can bind and rebuke demonic spirits off the land that you live on. You can control what happens on the land that you live on, not on somebody else's. So if you're living in apartments, and apartment dwellers will tell you this, like, I don't have any control over what's going on next door, or even the bugs that come over from next door. Not the noise, not anything. But when you own your land, you can control how much noise is on your property. You can control what bugs are on your property. So I'm just saying, there's a biblical principle to owning land, and it's why they attack it. Your government wants you dependent on them and their aid, and they want you to believe that you have no other choice but to comply. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, Dub, there is a difference. There most definitely is a difference. I know that people want you to believe there's not. You need to quit watching those people. They don't know anything. They own nothing. There's a big difference. Yeah. You can get your land homestead exempt. I don't even pay state taxes on my land. I own it. And in Louisiana, that gives me a lot of rights in my state. Still, if you come on my property without my permission, I can unleash my dogs on you. Like, legally, I have that right, because it's called trespassing. I can have you arrested like that, dude, in Louisiana. Like, we are strict about land ownership here. So it's a big, big deal, Dove. Trust me, baby, a big deal. Yeah, Nicole knows. She said, you're so true. I know I am. Like, don't have no trespassing signs in English and in Spanish, because I'm super nice, and I want to make sure that you can't say you didn't understand me. Yeah. You guys got to know there's a reason they don't want you to own land, baby. I'm telling you. Okay, so government wants to create a situation where you're stranded and helpless, where they can make it easier for corporations to move in, buy up the land, and extract the resources. Doug Emhoff stands to benefit from this directly or indirectly through his investments and policies that his wife is going to push through that's going to promote domestic mining. Okay? What you guys think about that? This is not about public safety. It's not about climate change. It's not about saving the earth. This is about profit. Harris and Emhoff are both playing the same game. They know the rules, and we're all playing catch up, folks. So when I say that this is women for Trump, this is why I'm for Trump. This is why I'm for Trump. Because rather than make a whole new group of millionaires, billionaires, he's like, we're just going to keep pumping oil, because we've already got that in place. We've got the system in place. It's going to be very little damage to the environment at this point. Guys, we know what to expect. We now have put in years and years of cleaning up oil spills. We know how to clean them. We know how to restore the land after it happens, because, yeah, eventually something's going to happen, right? We know nothing about lithium. It's going to take all new machinery. It's going to destroy an entire mountain. It's worse than coal mining, folks. Why would we do that to the earth when we already have everything in place to pump oil? Like, think about it. It just does not make sense. There's millions of cars that need gas, not electricity. Somebody's going to stand to get uber rich, burdening the American population with changing everything they're already set up for. Think about it. It's about the money, honey. It's about the money, honey. Okay, so I heard Pastor Rodney at the revival I was at last week. There was a woman that called the church and said, I need y'all to pray for me. My house was very damaged from Hurricane Helene, and then Hurricane Milton hit, and it was damaged further. And they're like, yes, ma'am, we'll pray with you. What do you need? Now, you got to understand, they were asking, what do you need, so they could give it to her. She goes, oh, I don't want anything from y'all. I want you to pray that FEMA gives me what I need. Pastor Rodney was furious, and he should have been. He said, pray for her. Don't offer her anything. If you're so dependent upon the government that you would rather wait on FEMA than allow a church to come in and rebuild your house, they were going to rebuild her house for free. Are you kidding me? All she cared about is that FEMA gives her the money she wants. FEMA's become another, it's another welfare system. Yeah, look, it's supporting the illegal immigrants right now. Real talk. The people of Western North Carolina and other resource-rich areas are nothing more than pawns in the game of corporate greed. We must resist this manipulation. You do not need FEMA. You do not need the government's pathetic handouts. They want you to think you're powerless, but you are not. The first step to regaining control is to stay on your land. Refuse to sell, folks. Refuse to be bought out by vultures. Reject their paltry funds they offer you after they engineer a disaster that will leave you homeless. Reject FEMA's false promises of aid. These agencies are complicit in the displacement of entire communities for corporate gain. It is time to wake up to the fact that these disasters are not accidents. They are part of a larger plan to strip you of your property and hand it over to corporations like Piedmont Lithium. Do not fall for their trap. Do not accept the narrative that you are helpless without the government. The only reason they want to control the situation is because they fear what will happen if you start helping each other. They fear what happens when you realize that you don't need permits, credentials, or authorizations to begin cleaning up. They become afraid when they realize that you can clean up after a disaster without waiting 6 months for their groups to come in. They become afraid when you're willing to live in a tent rather than lose your land. The government wants you to think you need them, but you do not. In fact, the truth is, they need you. They need you to believe in their control, to rely on their help, and to accept their vision of the world where corporations and politicians profit at your expense. It is time for a full-scale rejection of this system. The government, led by corporate figures like Kamala Harris, do not have your best interest at heart. They serve corporate interests, plain and simple. It is time to rise up and tell the government to go kick rocks. Vote, folks, women for Trump. Listen to me. You don't need them, but it's not going to be comfortable because when Trump wins, they're going to crash the dollar. Okay. So let's just talk about Trump's policies. I told y'all that's what we were going to do, and that's what we're going to do. But I had to read that. To anybody that's sitting the fence, you don't know what side you want to vote for. If women's rights is your number one on who you're going to choose, then shame on you and get off my channel, because They can't decide. Trump cannot decide what's going to happen with abortion, and neither can Kamala. It is up to states. That's up to your governor and the citizens, not the federal government. So you've bought into a lie if you think the president's got anything to do with that. All right. So the commitment, this is what on Trump's page, our commitment. The Republican Party will reverse the worst inflation crisis in 4 decades that has crushed the middle class, devastated family budgets, and pushed the dream of homeownership out of reach for millions. We will defeat inflation, tackle the cost of living crisis, improve fiscal sanity, restore price stability, and quickly bring down prices. As a mother, I worry my children will never be able to buy their own home. And the way that the Socialist Democrat Party is moving, they'll make it impossible for me to do what the Bible says a righteous person does and leave my children an inheritance. Okay. I think about those things, as I'm sure every mother on here does. First, we're going to unleash American energy. Under President Trump, the U.S. became the #1 producer of oil and natural gas in the world, and we will soon be again by lifting restrictions on American energy production and terminating the socialist Green New Deal. Republicans will unleash energy production from all sources, including nuclear, to immediately slash inflation and power American homes, cars, factories with reliable, abundant, and affordable energy. My energy bill under Biden-Harris is $200 more a month and has consistently been that way since like 3 months after they took office. That's $2,400 a year increase in energy cost in my home. But my husband didn't get a raise. He didn't get a cost of living raise. I don't know about you guys, but the type of work we do, we don't get cost of living. So energy alone under Biden and Harris was $2,400 for me a year. Just say a $1, and I know that's very I'm being very nice, $1 increase on gas a year. Because see, I'm a farm, so I get to keep all my receipts for gas. I have paid every single year that Biden Harris has been in office no less than $2,000 more a year on gas. So energy and gas has increased my budget cost $4,000, and we did not get an increase in living raise. So I am right now, without me talking about food and medical, I'm $4,000 poorer under Biden and Kamala for 4 years straight. That's $16,000. That's a good used car. Now imagine that across the board for all Americans. Folks, we're losing. The economy sucks. It just sucks. I don't know what bubble you live in if you think we have a good economy. Okay, so let's talk about his Chapter 2, seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Republicans offer an aggressive plan to stop the open border policies that have opened the floodgates to a tidal wave of illegal aliens, deadly drugs, and migrant crime. We will end the invasion of the southern border, restore law and order, protect American sovereignty, and deliver a safe and prosperous future for all Americans. Number 1, secure the border. Republicans will restore every border policy of the Trump administration and halt all releases of illegal aliens into the interior of this country. Are you guys aware that Amtrak, that's America's train system, it's horrible, it's unsafe, but I still want to ride on it. Anyway, Amtrak has now opened up something called the Floridian. Look it up. It is a new train route that goes from Chicago, Illinois, to Miami, Florida. Is a 48-hour one-way trip. 48 hours on a train where ID is not required that I know of, unless they've changed that. So the way I look at this is like, what are they doing? You know what it is? You know what they're going to do on that train? They're going to move illegal aliens that much faster through our country. Yeah, think about that. From Chicago, Illinois, one of the biggest sanctuary cities, all the way to the tip of Florida, one of the other big sanctuary cities. Come on, you guys. They're not doing that to a better American lives. You cannot believe that. I don't know. You guys are too smart. So I want to show y'all, I want you to hear something real quick. This is about flight attendants that can't afford to live, okay? This one young man was talking, he shares a 2-bedroom apartment with 20 other flight attendants. It's pretty awful.
At my job. Yeah. Well, joke's on you, Americans, because you have migrants like the devil's daughter partying it up in New York City.
There it is.
Perhaps one of the most expensive cities in America.
Wait, you can't see that. Hold on.
She is stressed.
Why is it not showing up? What is it doing? Oh, I really want you guys to see that video. Hold on, let me see. Why is that working?
She made fun of both immigrants and Americans.
Let's let you hear it.
And nothing happens. She can brag about it all day long and all night long.
Hi, Sweden.
In front of her migrant audience while living in a 5-star hotel in New York City. But let's go back once again to the current American reality.
Nastasia Lewis tells News Nation she remembers getting her first paycheck as a flight attendant for $250 and wondering how she'd feed her little boy.
What am I going to do? How am I going to survive for the next month until I get paid again? So it was really, really scary.
Prioritizing her son, she resorted to eating passengers' leftover meals.
During those times, I mean, you have to just put your pride aside and say, hey, I have to eat or I don't. So it does make you feel some kind of way during those times because you're just like, what am I doing here?
Liam Horgan is a first-year flight attendant with United. He lived on food stamps and with 20 flight attendants.
I was paying $455 a month to share a 2-bedroom apartment with 20 flight attendants. There have been nights that I've sat in bed, like almost crying myself to sleep because I'm like, what am I doing with my life? I was working retail and I was not struggling to make ends meet like I am right now.
Eating leftovers and crying yourself to sleep? Why? Guys, you should go to the southern border, cross the damn border and say, hey, I'm an asylum seeker. And there you go. You can probably be partying with the devil's daughter.
Hey, so illegal aliens are living it up in this country right now, folks. Hey guys, hit the like button. Tell me where you're from. While he was talking, I was deleting people out of there. I delete people off my channel. I don't need you. If you're going to come on here and try to rile people up and you're all anti-Trump, I just block you for life. You're stuck watching me without me having to hear from you. And I am all about that policy. Love it. So you guys don't have to worry about that hump hunter person. He's gone. He can't comment anymore. So I saw y'all trying to be nice to him. You don't have to be nice to them, people. Don't at all. You just kick them out. I'm good with that. All right. So he's going to stop this. All right. Because as women for Trump, let's be honest, I want to be safe. I'm literally fixing to spend a lot of money training my dogs for home protection to protect my daughter and myself. Why? Because men obviously can overpower us. Are they spamming me with commercials? Are they Kamala? They better not be Kamala. Thank you, Army Vet. I love you guys. Hey, Miss Debbie. So here's the thing, folks. We have to close our border. All right. I'm sorry. These are not vetted, nice people come in here. They're in New York City partying while our citizens are having to live 20 to an apartment and eating other people's leftovers. Okay. It's ridiculous. Stop sanctuary cities. I love this policy. Republicans will cut all federal funding to sanctuary jurisdictions that release dangerous illegal alien criminals into our streets rather than handing them over to ICE. Y'all know how like all up north, they were showing all these illegals being arrested for child molestation and stuff. And then they were doing their time and they put them back on the streets rather than give them to ICE. your state, your city's going to lose all federal funding if you pull that junk underneath Trump. They got to go when they hurt the kids, all right? Ensure our legal immigration systems put America workers first. And I can be honest when I tell y'all, it was extremely frustrating in Miami as well as in Tampa trying to order food anywhere. Nobody could understand English. This is America. Before you get a job, go take some English classes, because that is not okay. Because any of those places that had those types of people and they couldn't understand me, I couldn't understand them, I'll never go back. You've lost my business. Yeah, I have nothing to do with the ads, you guys. Don't fuss at me about them. I've got nothing to do. I'm steadily talking. I don't see them on my end. Chapter 3, build the greatest economy in history. American workers are the most productive, talented, and innovative on earth. And I believe that. We built this nation, you guys. It was the richest nation in the world for many, 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 many years for a reason, okay? The only thing holding them back is suffocating policies of the Democrat Party. True. Our America First economic agenda rests on 5 pillars: slashing regulations, cutting taxes, securing fair trade deals, ensuring reliable and abundant low-cost energy, and championing innovation. Together, we will restore economic prosperity and opportunity for all Americans. Number 1, cut regulations. We will slash regulations that stifle jobs, freedom, innovation, and make everything more expensive. We will implement transparency and common sense in rulemaking. In the article I was reading you earlier about North Carolina, one of the things that they brought up was how the government wants you to believe that you are dependent on them. And in the article, they say they fear what happens when you realize you don't need their permits, credentials, or authorizations to take action in times of disaster. You can organize and help each other, bypassing the government entirely. Permits, screw permits. It's their words, not mine. Authorizations, they're meaningless in the face of a natural disaster, especially manufactured ones. This person that wrote this understands what Trump is saying. You've got to slash the red tape so that people can get businesses up and going. Number 2, make Trump tax cuts permanent and no tax on tips. Harris stole the no tax on tips from Trump. This has been on his page for since the page went up. She's only been talking about it for a month. She don't have a thought, an original thought in her head. She a coconut. Number 3, fair and reciprocal trade deals. Republicans will continue forging an American first trade policy as set forth in Chapter 5, standing up to countries that cheat and prioritize American producers over foreign outsourcers. We will bring our critical supply chains back home. That is so important. During COVID, we realized how dangerous the position we were in. One of the things that Trump really began doing was putting money into small homestead farms. That is the 3-year program that I've been working on that was funded under Trump, not Biden, not Biden. Yeah, that's because Elizabeth says that her income taxes have been down 50% less with Biden Harris. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, but I don't know what kind of business you do, but they've been eating me alive. All right, Chapter 4, bring back the American dream and make it affordable again for families, young people, and everyone. Our commitment. Republicans offer a plan to make the American dream affordable again. We commit to reducing housing, education, and healthcare costs while lowering everyday expenses and increasing opportunities. Number 1, housing affordability. To help new home buyers, Republicans will reduce mortgage rates by slashing inflation, open limited portions of federal lands to allow for new home construction. Here's the difference between Harris and Trump. Trump is going to take federal land and give it back to the states. Under Biden and Harris, look at New Mexico. Right now, they're fighting in court. Roswell, New Mexico and a bunch of other places that just happened to flood. The federal government's trying to take their land right now and put it into another national park. I'm serious. You guys have got to wake up. Biden is all about that 2030 plan with the United Nations, that 30 by 30, 30% of all American lands by 2030 will be owned by the federal government. Trump just said it in here on page 10. Go look it up yourself. It says, open limited portions of federal lands to allow for new home construction. How can you argue with that? How can you argue with that? I mean, like, it's so obvious which party is being controlled by globalists and which party is not. All right, chapter 5, promote American workers and farmers from unfair trade. Okay. The Republican Party stands for patriotic American first economic policy. Republicans offer a robust plan to protect American workers, farmers, and industries from unfair foreign competition. We commit to rebalancing trade, securing strategic independence, and revitalizing manufacturing. We will prioritize domestic production and ensure national independence in essential goods and services. Number 1, rebalance trade. Number 2, secure strategic independence from China. Please, God. Number 3, save the American auto industry. Are you guys aware that China thinks that Trump is going to win? They were fixing to build the biggest car plant in the entire world right across the border of Mexico, electric vehicles, of course, and ship them into America across the border at a way lower price than any American manufacturer could make those cars, because we have to import everything. And the cost that those countries are charging us for their crappy products, right? So American manufacturers might have to sell that electric car for $60,000, but they might be able to make it in Mexico for $12,000 with their slave labor and children. You know what I'm saying? There's no regulations. And then ship it across the border and cut American manufacturers, putting them out of business. So Trump's like, yeah, not going to happen. Do y'all know China pulled out of that? They pulled it out. They pulled out. They said, never mind. Trump's going to win. We're not going to build it. And they did not build that manufacturing plant. Let me tell you something. People say, ain't nobody afraid of Trump. They're terrified of him because he understands the art of the deal. If you've never read that book that he wrote, it's amazing. It's amazing, folks. It honest to God, it really, really is. It really did. And then Biden called us garbage. Did y'all hear that? And I'm going to tell you what, like Harris just hanging on the teat, letting him get away with that nonsense. But listen to this.
People. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of things is unconscionable, and it's un-American.
Couple questions there. What the hell did he say towards the end? Because he slurred all his words together. Number 2 question. He almost started to say Puerto Rico, where he's from. Sir, you are from Delaware. You're not from Puerto Rico. So that was interesting there. But to call supporters garbage, like, really? That's one of those, he said the quiet part out loud kind of moments. He literally said the quiet part out loud. That's the part, your intrusive thoughts that are supposed to stay in your brain. And Joe Biden said, you know what, screw it. My brain has dementia. I'm old as dirt. They're kicking me out anyway. They pulled the coup. I give a crap about Kamala Harris. I don't like her. Let me just say what I want to say. Because at this point, what does it matter to him? Like, honestly, what does it matter? He's technically still the acting president, but he's not acting like a president. And by the time he is out of the Oval Office, what's he going to do? Go be the greeter at Walmart? Walmart would be like, no, sir.
You know what they would be like? I'm sorry, sir, you can't work here because your sniffing hair is going to get us a lawsuit. She's right. Walmart wouldn't touch Joe Biden. They would not want the lawsuit behind his creepy hands on somebody's kid. They wouldn't want it. Would not want it. The economy is so bad that right now, both Americans, wife and husband, have to work. Very few people are able to be single in their own home. Like they have to have roommates. And something that really upsets me is Trump is for world peace. This nonsense in the Ukraine would be over. Right now. Instead, we sent them almost $1 trillion in cash under Biden and Harris. And I guarantee you that's come back to Biden and Harris in some way. The thing that bothers me the most that in June 2024, the Democrats pushed really hard for women to be forced into the draft if we go to war. That really infuriated me. That is a no-no. What happens if we force a draft? We take all of our 18 to 35-year-old men and women out of the country into war, and you leave in this country children under the age of 18, disabled people, and old people with 30 million that we know of illegal aliens. What do you think is going to happen? I'm just saying. Just saying. So other than that, folks, we do not need income taxes. If we would just put tariffs on products coming into this country the proper way, we would not need income tax. I'll tell you this. So on page 9, where he says build the greatest economy in history, number 5 says champion innovation. Republicans will pave the way for future economic greatness by leading the world in emerging industries. Crypto. Republicans will end Democrats' unlawful and un-American crypto crackdown and impose the creation of a central bank digital currency. We will defend the right to mine Bitcoin and ensure every American has the right to self-custody of their digital assets and transact free from government surveillance and control. Artificial intelligence. We will repeal Joe Biden's dangerous executive order that hinders AI innovation and impose radical left-wing ideas on the development of this technology, like using aborted fetal cells. Just saying. In its place, Republicans support AI development rooted in free speech and human flourishing, expanding freedom, prosperity, and safety in space. Upon Republican leadership, the United States will create a robust manufacturing industry in near-Earth orbit, send American astronauts back to the moon and onward to Mars, and enhance partnerships with rapidly expanding commercial space sector to revolutionize our ability to access, live in, and develop assets in space. I'm sure Elon has something to do with that, but hey, nobody's perfect. What else does old Trumpster say? Let's see. What does page 12 say? Chapter 6. Protect seniors. I love him. Number 1, protect Social Security. Number 2, strengthen Medicare. Number 3, support active and healthy living. 4, protect care at home for the elderly. Oh, wow. Support unpaid family caregivers through tax credit and reduced red tape. Like that. Protect economic foundations for supporting seniors. Page 13. Cultivate great K-12 schools leading to great jobs and great lives for young people. Number 1, great principals, great teachers. We will support ending teacher tenure, adopting merit pay, and allowing various publicly supported educational models. Number 2, universal school choice. The Democrats are terrified of school choice. They're terrified of any choice given back to the American people because they know that the majority of us don't want to be controlled. Oh, wow. In Florida, our protected lands are on the ballot. Told you guys. They want that protected land because that's where everything is. Number 14, page 14, bring common sense to government and renew the pillars of American civilization. Number 1, empower American families. Number 2, rebuild our cities and restore law and order. 3, make Washington, D.C. the safest and most beautiful capital city. 4, take care of our veterans. 5, make colleges and universities sane and affordable. 6, combat anti-Semitism. 7, overcome the crisis in liberal arts education. 8, restore American beauty. 9, honor American history. Chapter 9, government of, by, and for the people, page 15. We will stop woke and weaponized government. We will dismantle censorship and protect free speech. We will defend religious liberty. We will protect and defend a vote of the people from within the states on the issue of life. We proudly stand for families and life. We believe that the 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States guarantees that no person can be denied life or liberty without due process, and that the states are therefore free to pass laws protecting those rights. That's all they say about abortion. It's up to the state. So all these fear-mongering people telling you to vote Kamala for your daughters, for her rights, for women's rights, stop being an idiot. Okay? I don't need anybody to tell my daughter that she can go kill her unborn child. I'm not down with it like that. Some of us want our kids to be raised morally. Right, Rainey? Right. And let me tell you, there's not a state in this country that will not allow a woman to have a medical ending to her pregnancy if it's going to mean that her life is in danger. They did that for my mother back in the 60s. So don't tell me they wouldn't do it in 2024, you lying devils. My mom had to have one in the 60s. She was bleeding to death. And they had to end the pregnancy to save her life. That was in 1960. So don't tell me they won't allow it. You lying devil from hell. Lying devils. That's what y'all are, Democrat Party. And anybody that used to vote Democrat, welcome to the party of the people. That's the Republican Party. We don't care what you do with your life, who you live with, who you're married to. I don't care. I really don't. Just follow the Constitution. Understand that I want my due process. I want my freedom of speech. I want to be able to tell you I don't like you and you not be able to say it's because you're a he, she, and I'm a they, them. I mean, just stop. Stop with the nonsense. We have a great country. It is worth fighting for. So if you are on the fence, I don't understand how anybody could vote for Kamala Harris when she is a Marxist and she has no policy. She has no policy. Trump has 16 pages on his Trump, DonaldTrump.com. Go check it out for yourself. I read most of it to you because I know people don't have time and because I'm an educator and I just like to talk. It's just the truth. But I love you guys. The second live today, I'm pooped. I would like you guys to pray for Stephen. He's got to go in for a colonoscopy tomorrow. So he's been off work yesterday and today, which just added a whole nother level of to-dos for me because they're purging him like a crawfish and it ain't pretty. So if you guys don't mind saying a prayer for him tomorrow, he's never had to do this and he's not a great patient. Thank you, True Lady Liberty. I love you guys too. Guys, please make sure you're sharing our videos. Make sure you are still subscribed. Polly, so we have a new party now. It's called MAGA. I feel that. And I don't know where people get that we worship Donald Trump. Because let me tell you something. That is the most crash man in the world. I don't worship him. Half the time, I don't even want to listen to him talk because he kind of irritates me sometimes. But I appreciate what he's done for my country. Aw, thank you, Mad Sad World. I'm not in it about, I don't have to like him. I just have to trust him. And I can't trust Kamala when she can't even speak a sentence without twisting her words all up. Let me tell you the truth. I don't really trust anybody that's down for killing babies at 9 weeks in the belly. There's something wrong with you, friends. There's something evil. I don't really trust people that are like, oh yeah, I'm down with like in-term abortion. I'm like, ooh. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ugh. Like, kind of, I'm like, what are you going to do with it? Like, are you going to like make makeup out of it or a new type of injection? Why are you down with that? Like, I'm just saying, you guys, there's something inherently evil with that. It's a worship of Baal. It's satanic. It's witchcraft. It's demonic. If you were a Christian, then you should not be thinking about the 1%. Well, what if my daughter gets raped? What if this happens? Don't worry about that. Plead the blood of Christ over your children. Anoint them with oil. Tell them that, some places put you at higher danger for those things that happen, like being out past midnight, being out by yourself, getting drunk with a bunch of boys, put you in a really bad position. Try to avoid that, and the chances of the other thing happening reduce. Common sense. Common sense. I just don't understand. Yeah, he's a businessman. That's right, Camper. You don't have to like him, but he's good at what he does. I just want you to think about that. If you were fence sitting, I hope that this video kind of maybe helped you understand why women across America are voting for Trump. Because we women want all the same things. We want, like I said, it doesn't matter. Black, white, old, young, rich, poor, gay, straight, it does not, married, single, does not matter. We all want the exact same thing. We want the chance to prosper. We want to be safe. We want the freedom to do the things that we need to do. We want our family to be healthy and happy. That is all that we want. It is very simple. Kamala Harris is steadily going to erode that. She's going to put you in a situation you've got to depend on the federal government, and they are going to fail you each and every time. Donald Trump is going to put you in a situation where you see the hand of God move across this entire nation. So I love you guys. Get out there and vote. No excuses. No sitting out. Yeah, amen. That's right. Amen. Yeah, I love you guys. Y'all have a blessed night.